And
he will not
I don't think
play.
we can even afford the tag again with him and Jamar. If Jamar wants as much as he wants, because the tag goes towards your salary cap.
It goes towards your salary cap, and I think if you tag him 2 years in a row, it's like a 20% bump or something like that.
But I watched the press conference with Zach Taylor today, and he was saying, for the first time, they directly asked him. They said, "Are you looking to get guys to help your team?" And instead of "we're confident with the guys inside the house," he said, "Duke's looking at all available options because now Zach Moss is out indefinitely."
I saw that.
So he's also they're looking at the running back market, which is buns. You're looking at Latavius Murray and Melvin Gordon. Those are like the top. Yeah, those are the top free agents. So it's like, but I doubt they make any moves before Thursday. If they do, it's probably going to be a defender instead of a running back. But Chase Brown has a rib injury apparently. So it's not. I don't think it'll show up on the injury report. But they said he was kind of poopy doopy after the game.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But we are live seamlessly at 10 o'clock. I did it. No snags. That was a beautiful, beautiful cold open. Welcome back to the To Be Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Johnny. To my left is Chris. Beneath me is Nick. And we will get right into our intro video. Alrighty, what was that about Kansas City?
Oh, I was just gonna say there's a play that just happened, and they two defenders got hurt on the same play.
Ouch time. Are they still losing?
Yeah.
We'll start off the show with an update.
Losing 14-10. Bucks have the ball at the 28-yard line. They're like 28 yards from scoring.
Eat it, Kansas City. For the record, Chris
Yeah.
and I both picked the Buccaneers to win last week. Sorry, Nick, if this doesn't happen. But Nick also hates Kansas City, so deep down, it doesn't really matter to him. Like I said, welcome back to the To Be Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. We will get right into it, as always, not with the injuries, not with the matchups, but with an update on the current standings of our predictions. And let me tell you, your boy had a killer week. Killer week.
Yeah, he did really good this week.
But still in first place.
It's not enough.
We have Chris sitting at 46-22.
Right.
He went 9-4 this week. He had a great week. He stumbled a little bit on the Carolina game because I had to make up some ground and I went a little crazy. So he went the safe bet. I went crazy. Sitting in second is me now with 44-23. I went on a run. 11.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen,
Yeah.
Nicholas.
See, I went 11-2 this week, and I'm hoping to keep up that momentum.
Tide goes down before it comes back up.
That's right, baby. Nick went with the strategy last week where he tried to make up some ground. He tried to play a little flippity-floppity, and it didn't work out with him.
If it's any consolation, on just the week alone, Nick and I had the same record.
Yeah, 9-4 ain't bad.
We were both 9-4. No.
I think what we take away from this is why are we all so good at this here and so bad at this when we bet on FanDuel?
It's because
I've never gone 11-2 in my life.
Yeah. Statistically, 9-4 is good.
Yeah.
On betting, if you lose one,
it's over.
That's the end. Yeah, that's the problem. So,
but we will keep you updated. Last 2 weeks, I've missed the Arizona game. Don't know what happened. Don't like Arizona. Not really. I have no problem with them. But live during the Arizona game, we called it, and we all went with Arizona. We saw what was happening. It was unfortunate. So, but we caught the Arizona game this week. Thank you, Chris, I believe, who did the matchups for us this week on the doc. So
I got you.
All right, we will go straight into the matchups. Thursday, we are starting with the home team favorite. Cincinnati Bengals are going to Baltimore to face the Ravens.
That's right.
I'm taking Cincinnati.
I'm taking Cincinnati.
Ravens.
All right.
I hate doing it.
We hate you.
I'm taking Cincinnati. Joe Burrow just went on a tear. He was as angry as ever. He was mad he didn't get a touchdown on every single drive, which is absurd, but I like it. Defense.
I love the fire.
Defense started to play well. Had a little rough spots here and there, but it was the Raiders.
I'm hoping it's a pudding block. I have a coworker who I agree with. I don't want to fall into the trap of being that this was a good win and being like we're back because the Raiders are poop. So I have I'm not over the moon about it. Like the way we won was the way we should have won, and to that point, it should have been even worse because Joe threw a pick six. Granted, it wasn't his fault. It's a screen pass. You don't even.
Yoshi did not block.
No, he had a couple bad plays.
Yeah.
Yoshi Voss, in my opinion, that was a bad block. He had another. There was something else happening in the game that I remember watching, being like, "Ooh, that's kind of on him." But like I said, progress. I'll take a win, and hopefully, if maybe this is just like a confidence boost for the defense. Maybe they were just like down in the dumps because they were playing so bad. Maybe this is like the one uplifting, like they got a couple turnovers that they needed to kind of snowball some things together, but who knows?
Like Ray Hendrickson, Defensive Player of the Year.
Dude,
he'll get snubbed because he plays for Cincinnati. That's how this works. Like we said at the beginning during our cold open, Bengals are looking to add some pieces, so that could be interesting if they add some defenders. They're also maybe looking to add a running back because, Chris, we have some injuries.
Yeah, so you got Zach Moss hurt his neck. Apparently
showed up on Friday.
Because it's weird because 2 games in a row that you've seen Zach Moss, he's gotten one was a hip drop 2 weeks ago on his ankle. He kept playing, and then last week he played. He got tackled and his knee kind of got rolled up funny, and he came up hobbling. And then the injury report came out, and they were like, "Yeah, it's his neck." I was like, "Okay," but they came out and said he's out indefinitely. So. Not ideal, because that's not a quick turnaround normally. That's usually a pretty extended period of time. Definitely a candidate for IR.
And the fact that they're talking about looking for a running back does not spark great confidence. Chase Brown had 27 carries. That's great for him if you're a fantasy owner, but it's not sustainable. So,
Chase Brown, I don't know, is the body type to withstand that sort of workload.
I don't think so.
It's good for the time being, but
I like you.
Is he? He's probably a large man. He just looks relatively small out on the field. But he bruised his ribs. He was getting beat up out there. First 100-yard game, he had a receiving touchdown. But we have more Bengals injuries. They're piling up. Keep it going.
Yeah, you got T. Higgins with the quad.
Shocker.
That's gonna be probably a game time decision. I'd like to believe that they sat him out this week with the intent of theoretically beating the Raiders for him to come back for a divisional game, but we'll see.
I will interject here. I watched the Zach Taylor press conference today, as I always do. And for those of you who are not caught up, Jermaine Burton allegedly did not go to the meetings Friday or the walkthrough Saturday. And
great stand-up guy.
And then after the game, threw the coaching under the bus for saying that he can't make himself go out on the field. So he's on a hot streak.
A picture just came out too. He was caught at the casino by himself, just betting.
Cool. So all great things.
He may just get cut.
Despite
frankly.
all of that, today in the Zach Taylor press conference, they blatantly asked him, what is the plan for Jermaine Burton? And he said, we're pushing him to play Thursday. That being said, there's only 2 reasons you push Jermaine Burton to play Thursday. T. Higgins is not ready. 1, or you're getting ready to trade him away. 2, which I think are very likely scenarios. You don't keep testing out a bum unless you are. I mean, he's a high draft pick from Alabama. Nick Saban knew his talent. He obviously has the physical talent, but there's something lacking up in the noggin category.
It also could be interpreted, and this is all speculation. It could be we're pushing him to play Thursday as this we're gonna be super overbearing about checking in, making sure he's showing up to practice, doing other things. So it may not even actually translate to him being in the game. It's like I said, super speculative, but Something to keep in
Regardless
mind.
of who plays or who does not play, if you have Cincinnati Bengals players, a.k.a. Chase Brown, a.k.a. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and especially Mike Gesicki, go pick him up.
Especially if T. Higgins is out.
Yeah. Eric All Jr., dead. Chris has been pushing for him all season, and he blew out his ACL. Rest in peace. Sorry for the guy. It's the second time that's happened. Mike Gesicki went off. He had somewhere in the neighborhood of 27 fantasy points.
Yeah.
And it is proven time and time again when we do not have wide receivers on the field, they're looking for the other big guys. So go try to get him if you can. I think that covers all the injuries in that game. Anybody on the Ravens side?
Not really. I mean, everybody's pretty healthy.
Mark Andrews had a slight drop off at tight end this week. Keep playing him. He'll probably bounce back, especially against the Bengals.
Yeah, I'll say at this point, Mark Andrews is somebody who you're playing as a touchdown upside. That's what you're wanting.
Moving on to the Giants at Panthers at 1 o'clock, or in the 1 o'clock slots on Sunday. I'm taking the Panthers again.
I'm taking the Giants.
Giants, yeah, I'm with you, Nick.
Crazy. I don't even care at this point. I saw the spark in Bryce Young's eye after he got that victory formation. I'm Panthers ride or die.
Dude, I do. It does kind of make me feel kind of good. He got to win. I have no ill will towards Bryce Young.
No, I feel bad for him.
That dude was given a box of turds and supposed to shine him up and make him.
He hasn't played. He hasn't had anything that looks good.
I don't think he's good, but I just still feel bad for him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he looks good. I'm with Johnny. Like it's one thing to come into an organization and not be a good quarterback, but like have a bunch of pieces around you that you can like build off of and like work with and get better. And it's another thing to come in where Bryce Young, they traded away McCaffrey, they traded away all the defensive pieces, they didn't reload all the offensive
DJ
line
Moore.
Yeah, like it was all bad. And then Bryce Young's been there for a year and a half now, and he has gone through 3 coaches or something crazy like that. So
speaking of DJ Moore, did you guys see the play where he walked off the field mid-play?
I did see that.
Caleb Williams is scrambling, and DJ Moore just said, "I'm done," and walked off the field and sat down on the bench. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know if he thought he went out of bounds or what.
I don't know. Yeah, he literally was scrambling. DJ Moore walks out of bounds, and then Caleb Williams rolls out the other way, and it extends the play for another 10 seconds.
And DJ Moore's on the bench.
DJ Moore's just on the side. It's wild.
Do we have any injuries in that game?
Nothing major. I mean, nothing you really care about. The big thing that you want to pay attention to is Jonathan Brooks is going to make his debut. So keep that in mind. This is a weird position where the Panthers spent a significant amount of draft capital on a guy like Jonathan Brooks, so you're going to play him. Same reason you're playing Bryce Young, but they're really bad. So there's no point in rushing a guy back like that to re-injure. And 2, Chuba Hubbard's been good, so there's not really a big push that he has to carry this massive workload. So I don't really know what to expect. He could come back and just take it over, and he could come back and it'd be 90% Chuba Hubbard, and they just work in Brooks here and there.
Nick,
I don't know.
Who did you end up starting this week? Hubbard or Pollard?
Pollard.
What was the?
Hubbard did finish better, but not by it was by 4 points.
Oh, so it wasn't a devastating decision.
Hubbard had 21. Pollard had 17.
Oh, they're pretty close.
Yeah.
Well, Pollard was
but
right on his
Hubbard had 2 touchdowns. So Hubbard had 2 touchdowns, and Pollard had I don't even think Pollard had 1. So he played way better.
Yeah.
Just didn't have a touchdown.
All right, we are Neighbors. How did Neighbors do last week? Did anybody keep an eye on that?
Pretty good.
He did all right. Yeah, he had 9 receptions on 11 targets. He had 70 yards or something, no touchdown. So decent game, but not anything.
Good news is he's got a pretty safe floor unless he gets injured. I mean, he's at this point a guaranteed 12, 13 points, bare minimum.
Watch out for a Neighbors injury next week. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Patriots at the Bears. Drake May returned to the Patriots this week without issue, seemingly. I'm still going to take the Bears in this scenario.
The Bears.
Dude, I got a feeling about the Patriots. I don't know. It just...
Chris is taking Patriots. Put him down. Put him down.
Listen, here's what I want to bring up. There's not really any injuries to cover. so nothing major.
Well, here we
And
go
play
with
all the
the
normal guys.
Can we play the
We're
man
back-
again?
We're back to the Ramondre thing.
Roller
Guess what
coaster
happened?
Ramondre. He put up 20 plus, didn't he?
22 with 2 touchdowns.
This
You know
guy.
how many
like
rushing?
8 yards.
You know how many rushing yards he had? 16.
Real Austin Eckler stat line.
That is exactly what that is.
Here's my problem. This is what I keep saying to you guys. You keep telling me to sit him, and I have been. I'm not. You're telling me to trade him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Time to trade him.
I get it.
16 yards. That is not good.
But you're missing what I'm saying. Out of let's look because I have it pulled up really quick actually. We are in week 9 right now. He has scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touchdowns in 9 weeks.
Get him out.
That's good. But here's the point I'm trying to get at too. I don't necessarily disagree. Okay, I understand.
You do because you're not trying to get rid of him.
No. Well, I have been. Ironically, it's all been a part of the trades that keep getting declined. I sent Kaysen a trade.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Garrett Wilson.
For those of you following along at home, I came in and swept him off his feet. I tried to make a trade with this goober beneath me. It really wasn't that bad. We just couldn't come to terms. That would actually have helped either one of us. We were trying to make a blockbuster trade for a large receiver and Jonathan Taylor. We just couldn't get it done. So in my league, I made a trade. I gave away Jonathan Taylor as a third-round keeper, which hurt because I was going to keep Jonathan Taylor in the 3rd round and Kenneth Walker in the 14th. I would have been set for life. But I traded him for Garrett Wilson, who I will not be keeping because he was drafted 9th overall. But he put up 30 for me this week. I still lost, but it was fundamental because I lost Stephon Diggs and Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Had to be done.
Yeah, I don't know. The Ramondre thing is just hard because in my head, I'm with you that it's the high, but at the same time, there's no other weapons there.
I think
So, like, he is the offense.
I think priority number 1 is trade him. If you're not
Yes.
going
I
to
agree.
trade him, you're putting him in the flex. Do not start him in a running back position unless you are on a bye week or poor. That's my analysis.
Yikes.
Moving on to the 49ers at the
We'll
Buccaneers.
circle back. We'll circle back to Ramondre next week when he scores another touchdown and ask the same question.
I'm probably moving on to the 49ers at Bucks. And let me tell you, if you follow us on social media, give us our own. We'll pimp our own social media here for a second. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Those are the big ones. CMC is back in theory. They opened up the practice window, which means he's coming. If he's anything like Puka Nacua, he's coming right now. We're going to go past that. And if you've been holding on to CMC for this long, just throw him in the lineup. RB1. I don't care if he goes in there and breaks both of his ankles. You have to throw him out there to see what happens.
You're playing.
You don't hold on to somebody for 11 weeks and then say, let's see what happens. You throw him in there.
Yep.
It's exciting times.
I do think whenever they do like officially activate him, whether like I said, you have a 3-week window technically that you can put him in. I don't think that they go that long, but the moment they say he's playing, I fully anticipate it just being an immediate like everything goes to him again.
This
There's
is
no like
going to
timeshare.
be Tua and Devon A-Chain situation the entire game, which is fine.
You say that? Do you want to know the carry count in that game? Mostert had
more.
Well, but I was talking about passing.
Yeah, I'll say the passing is
Devon
incredible
A-Chain
for
probably
Achane.
had 8 or I think he had like 8 receptions, which is crazy.
It's a dump off machine.
Yeah, and
I'm taking the 49ers.
I'm also taking the 49ers.
Who do they play? I
The
forget.
Bucks.
Bucks.
Bucks are too beat up. I think the Bucks are going to
the
squeak out a
Bucks.
win tonight, but I don't think they'll do it again next week.
Chris apparently doesn't want to stay on top for much longer.
There's a reason I'm on top.
Ayo.
Just watch.
Yeah, because you're feminine.
Dude. All right. We're getting derailed so fast. We're only 4 games in. All right. Moving on. Wait, do we have any injuries there? Bucks, obviously. Mike Evans.
Yeah, same.
We're going into week 10. Mike Evans is supposed to come back week 12.
Best case. is
Best
what they're
case
saying.
scenario. We'll see. Well, I don't know. Godwin, remember, is out for the year. Otten is just absorbing all the targets. Don't play any of the
J-
other receivers.
Well, so it doesn't help that Jalen McMillan was the next guy up, and then
Yeah.
like an hour before the game tonight, they were like, "Yeah, he's not playing."
Yeah.
So, it's basically K. Dotton and the running backs, and that's it.
Like I told the guys before the start of the podcast, or at the very start of the podcast, coming down here at the Bucks receivers had more rushing yards than they did receiving, so that's not ever what you want to see, and it wasn't
I
a
think
lot.
that's still the case.
That's not good.
Let's vet that real quick.
Live fact
Sterling
check.
Shepard is the leading receiver.
Okay.
Receiver, not like technically K. Dotton. He has 8 receptions for 77 yards.
See?
The first wide receiver is Sterling Shepard. 1 catch, 13 yards. He also has 2 rushing attempts for 21.
Yep.
So he does have more rushing yards.
All right, so it still stands. So don't start him. But yeah, those are pretty much the injuries. Kittle keeps showing up on the injury report every week, but he's gonna play. He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, unless something major happens. Probably same with Debo. He's pretty consistently on there as well.
We are moving on to the Broncos at Chiefs, and I am going to take the Broncos.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I'm going to make up some ground here. This is my ground maker up here.
Okay, this is at least nice. Last week we were just like tape recorders of each other.
Yeah,
basically on every
and
game,
sorry for everybody. We were not right about the Broncos last week. We all, well, Nick and I were really heavy.
I'm hopping off.
We talked.
Our hearts thought it could happen, and then they got absolutely.
They had good fantasy numbers. The Broncos put up good fantasy numbers for their big guys. At least Sutton and Bo Nix. I don't think Javonte really did anything, but
Not really.
Lamar is just putting up too many points. So
that's the only news that I wanted to cover with this game was Sean Payton came out and said that Audric Estime it's their rookie running back that they drafted this year, that he's been battling some injuries through the offseason up until now, and it's kind of like finally getting healthy, but they've kind of like worked him in slowly. Came out yesterday or something and said that basically they were going to ramp him up and give him a lot more work. So if you have Javonte, may not.
I got rid of him at the right time.
I say you might want to get out now and hope your league mates didn't see that news.
All right, we are moving on to the Bills at the Colts. I was really hoping, I don't know why, because I don't really dislike the Vikings, but I like old man Flacco. I was hoping the Colts could have pulled one out, but they did not. That being said, I am taking the Bills.
Me too.
Here,
I'm taking the Bills.
Amari Cooper, late scratch
with
a wrist injury.
Wrist injury. That came out of nowhere, so keep that in mind. I don't know what that was about, but hopefully it's nothing major and he can kind of just take a week off, come back, and be okay.
And then, did we do a Michael Pittman wellness check? Did he score more than 10 points?
I think
Josh Downs barely cleared it.
I don't know. Let me check it and see. I have him.
I don't think so.
Let me vet it.
I'm gonna guess 11. That's my.
Michael Pittman. No, he had 2.
All right.
Told you.
So it's panic time. It's been panic time for a while. It's real panic time now.
That's the first week it's been bad with Joe Flacco, and the Vikings defense has been like very good this year.
I think you hold on Michael Pittman for now.
I think you're
maybe a buy low.
You're preparing the siren, but I don't know that you're pressing the button yet.
I think he's a buy low. I think you get him. Hope your team, your league mates are scared. Can't really hurt.
It does seem like Josh Downs is the one now, though.
I mean, Joe Flacco was probably looking at Alec Pierce as much as Michael Pittman.
Yeah, he had 4 targets, so it wasn't a good week. But again, like I said, the Vikings defense has been pretty good this year, shutting down wide receivers. It's been not like none of their games have been like high scoring. So.
Yep. All right, we are moving on to the Steelers at the Washington Commanders.
Steelers.
I'm taking Pittsburgh. Yeah,
they can't keep getting away with this.
Well, that's why I'm taking them, because they will. The AFC North is the epitome of how are all these teams doing this?
They're not good. Like they all of their wins. I went through the schedule. Week 1, they played the Falcons. Kirk Cousins had just come off of a major Achilles injury.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins was not Kirk Cousins that week.
No, didn't look good. Week 2, you played Denver with a rookie quarterback. was not the same Bo Nix then as he is now.
No.
Week 3, you play the Chargers without Justin Herbert. And then you lost 2 in a row to the Cowboys, and I don't remember who the other loss was to. And then they beat the Giants, and then they beat the Jets. It's just like the Jets one's like, okay, maybe that was a legitimate win.
I mean,
TBD.
when you've been 8-8 or 9-8 for the last 47 seasons, that's the kind of schedule you get. So
it's one of those things that like, even the schedule, like it wasn't like the Falcons were supposed to be good, but like Kirk Cousins didn't translate. The Chargers were supposed to be good, but like Herbert was gone.
they also have not. They've
stuff.
played like no division games yet, do they?
Nope. Their last 8 games of the year are all division games, and then it's the Eagles and the Chiefs or something like that.
I'm gonna tell you right.
Two break up.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they're gonna get swept by the Bengals. They're gonna get swept by the Ravens, and then they're gonna sweep the Browns. So
maybe
I think that's gonna. They're in for trouble, but I think for now they're gonna.
Are good. That's ultimately why I'm picking them. I do think that the last week they did much better on defense. Their offense looks good. I'd like to believe that they can outscore Pittsburgh's offense.
I think T.J. Watt is going to disturb a young Daniels.
You gotta touch him.
Injuries. I don't think we have any there. Surprising.
Brian Robinson is the one you're gonna pay attention to and just see what happens.
He tried to go warm up, and they said no. I'm assuming he plays Sunday, so.
Usually, if you're a game time decision, very seldom are you game time decisions multiple weeks in a row.
But he has been a game time decision like every other week this year, which is really frustrating as a Brian Robinson owner. But yeah, it is what it is. We are moving on to Vikings at Jags, and let me tell you, the Jags. They look like one of the worst football teams I've ever seen in my life. It's bad.
Right Jacksonville.
You're picking Jacksonville?
No, I said welcome to Jacksonville.
Oh, I thought you said I thought you said I'm taking Jacksonville. I was like, oh my gosh, no, I'm taking the Vikings.
Yeah, we're all taking
me
the
too.
Vikings. That's not close.
Evan Ingram gave me a little bit of a heart attack, and then game update.
Patrick Mahomes was helped off the field after this play with what looks like a non-contact injury.
What leg?
I don't know, just a non-contact. But
Johnny said at the beginning of the year, and I will vouch for this. He said he's using all of his hexes and putting it on Mahomes, and he said he's feeling left leg. So if this happens, and it is his left leg, I am so scared of this man.
Yeah,
this is too many years in a row he's done this.
For our 2 viewers that see anything, Johnny has a weird ability to, in a pivotal matchup in fantasy. Perfect example. This is like something that's happened a lot. Last year, for instance, in the Dynasty, we played against each other. I think it was the first round of the playoffs, and I was a lock to win. Johnny's team was done. He was up by like 6 points or something, and I had Christian Kirk. And at the time, Christian Kirk was like the wide receiver, like 14, averaging like 15 points a game or something like that. And Johnny said he was going to hex him. Wouldn't you know it, dude caught one ball and pulled his PP and didn't play the rest of the game.
Nick looks mildly disturbed down there.
But it happens every year.
Dude, it is his left leg. I'm not kidding you.
The year before that, let's just keep the tape rolling. The year before that, it was TJ Watt because I was sick of him abusing Joe Burrow. The year before that, it was Michael Gallup because Matt had him in a pivotal fantasy matchup, and Michael Gallup was playing for the Cowboys at the time, I think, and his leg exploded during one of the games.
It looks like it doesn't even look that bad. He just looks like he stomped the ground and then was like limping off.
I think he stayed in. I don't know because it's now a tied ball game and he threw a touchdown pass.
That was the play he got hurt on.
Okay.
It's the beginning of the end.
It's the Joe Burrow pass last year.
I cannot believe that you called that. I literally
makes him wildly uncomfortable. I told you.
Dude. I'm sorry if I've ever said anything mean to you. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt my family.
I can't do it on command. I can only do it. Actually, the Patrick Mahomes one is the first one I said I'm actively changing all of my hexes to one person.
Yeah, you were.
All of the other
You get like
ones,
4 or 5 a year.
all the other ones, I just kind of just went for it. But this one was the first one I was like, I'm targeting this man. We'll see what happens. We'll keep updated on Patrick Mahomes and his left leg. Rest in peace.
Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, a non-life-threatening career-ending injury. I'm kidding.
A nice rolled ankle that'll keep him out for a little bit of time would be kind of nice.
Yeah. All right, we're moving on to the Falcons at Saints, and the Saints are horrible. And Kirk Cousins
They fired their head coach.
They fired their head coach. Woo. Michael Thomas roasting Derek Carr from the couch, and Derek Carr's like, brother, I called you like 5 times. Can we not just talk about this over the phone? I don't know why you're roasting me. I don't know what the problem is. But Michael Thomas did call that he was going to get his head coach fired. And he did. So, not a great look. Olave is joining the Tua coloring book club.
Yeah. The good thing is he's never postured like Tua did.
Yeah.
But
he's
had like 4 or 5 were like on impact just as like a noodle.
Yeah.
So it's not good. I mean, he very well could go to the IR as well and get the Tua treatment where he meets with a neurologist and you go down the path of like checking things.
And
you can't keep. Granted, some of them have been just weird fluke plays where like you get tackled funny. Yesterday's was a hospital ball.
I think that's what Michael Thomas was getting at.
Yeah, that's a ball that like, as a quarterback, people talk about it all the time.
Brady talks about it.
You let a guy directly into that defender, and then not only that, you threw it in a spot where he's like overly extending, like just all around bad. So.
And this is why the trade for the Cincinnati Bengals, T. Higgins to Saints, makes even more sense. Number 1 receiver in the Saints goes down. They're already down Shaheed. T. Higgins would be an easy number 1 times 1,000 over there. And Derek Carr is known to just throw the ball as far as he can and hope someone catches it, which is T. Higgins' specialty. If we see T. Higgins,
healthy.
Yeah, if he can stay healthy.
If you've watched T. Higgins play this year, that man has pine tar on his gloves.
He is.
Yeah, dude. He might have the best hands in the league right
easily.
now. It is vice grips when he'll just catch a ball like out in the open and you'll see him like grip it and then the guys are swatting and he won't tuck it and he'll just like hold it.
There's only ever been 2 players I've seen that have had as good as hands as T. Higgins. It was primetime DeAndre Hopkins. And
that's because he has DeAndre Hopkins, you wanna know why?
Does he have 6th finger?
No. This part of his finger down here, he has another like bone. So it's like instead of like the 3 small ones, he has 4. So his fingers
That's
are
not fair. Performance enhancing.
He talks about having to get like specific gloves. They're like 5X gloves
and then
for his hands because like they're so big.
The other guy is Tyler Boyd when AJ Green disappeared and he had to become the wide receiver 1 and he didn't have a drop for like 3 seasons in a row. I don't know how that happened, but it was crazy.
And then he got the yips.
And then he dropped everything. Yep. But we'll keep.
Speaking of Boyd, Titans Chargers.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was on that team. That's how irrelevant he has been this season in fantasy. He's still posting about the Bengals on social media. I think he misses us. I would too.
Miss him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Titans at Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers.
I'm taking Chargers.
Yeah, it's not close. Titans are buns.
Yeah,
doesn't matter if it's Mason Rudolph or if it's Will Levis.
We have upgraded though. There are now 2 Titans players I think you can get away with playing: Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley.
Yeah,
Calvin Ridley has moved into the flex option. He's gone double digits 2 weeks in a row.
Up.
So it helps when they're passing more, 1, than they have been over the last couple of weeks, and 2, they shipped out DeAndre Hopkins. So passing went up and there's less competition. So win-win.
We'll take it. We're going on to the Jets and at the Cardinals. We hit the Cardinals game this week. It does exist. We did it. Good job. The Jets finally pulled a win out of their butt, and I think they beat the Cardinals.
I'm taking the Jets.
Yep.
I think when they get not Devontae, but when they get Garrett Wilson rolling, they look a lot scarier than they have been. But they got to get Garrett Wilson going. The first half of that game last week, they would not. Aaron Rodgers was locked in on Devontae Adams. Rightfully so. Once they started throwing to Garrett Wilson because Devontae died on the sideline, magic started happening.
I think it's one of those things that they have a lot of playmakers, similar to the Bengals, and their problem is they do a bad job at getting them the ball.
Yeah.
I watched a couple of those games, and like, I'll watch Breece Hall be in, and he just like 2 drives in a row won't get a touch, and it's just like, why draft a guy that high, pay them the money to not use? Like, I don't know. It's weird. To your point, I think getting Garrett Wilson rolling is important. I think getting Devontae Adams rolling is important. Obviously, he had a good week. I just think it's getting the ball to your playmakers in general. They're just, for whatever reason, are on again, off again with that.
We have an update on the Patrick Mahomes injury from the Pro Football Doc. He's where I get all my reliable injury updates. He was a retired football doctor, I believe, for the Chargers back in the day. He is calling it a left eversion ankle sprain. He said he actually already had one coming into the game, and he re-aggravated it. So I don't know if that wasn't listed or something. He's had one for the last 10 years, it sounds like.
We're gonna be doing tricks in this thing again because it's the same injury that was supposed to make him sit out for the entirety of the playoffs, and then magically the dude had superpowers and just kept playing and was running for like 60 yards a game.
Yeah, they're calling it not severe. They're going to tape it up, give him some goody good, and send him back in. So we'll see what happens.
He's back in now.
Yep. They probably just taped the crap out of it.
Yeah.
But keep an eye on it. If it gets worse, that could be a problem.
Yep.
All right, I closed the doc for that, so hold on, let me get it back open. All right, something in my eye. We are going on to Eagles at Cowboys. It's Eagles. The Cowboys are terrible.
Yep.
Dak Prescott.
And Dak Prescott has a hamstring injury that they came out and said was worse than they thought. So
we're looking
he's
at
going to miss time.
Cooper Rush season.
We're looking at potential IR time for Dak.
And on top of that, CeeDee Lamb hurt his shoulder, questionable. So
I think he's an
double
AC.
whammy.
I think CeeDee Lamb's was an AC joint sprain.
Yeah, AC joint. Might just be a pain tolerance thing. That's one of those things that it's really like you've seen like Keenan Allen, Devontae Adams have those injuries and they play through it.
It's an old man
It's
injury.
a matter of like it's a matter of being able just to like extend. If you can get your arms up, they play, and if it's so stiff that they can't, then they won't play. But usually that's the nice bold tranquilizer shot that they give you. And
did you see that? I saw 2 different reports on Zeke. One was that he was a healthy scratch, and then the other one that he was it was a personal matter. But the healthy scratch was the report was saying that because he basically hasn't been taking his reps and he's super out of shape again.
His belly's too big.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't doubt it.
I don't understand how. I get Dalvin Cook hasn't been good in 2 years, but he's got to be better than Zeke if you just give him more touches. He's 29 years old. He's not over the hill.
I don't know.
Are you sure?
I think so. I think the
I don't know that
Jets.
he could
I
be
think the
any
Jets
worse.
ruined his. He was perfectly fine leaving the Vikings, like a top 5 running back probably, and then he went to the Jets and they didn't use him, and now people think he can't run. It seems suspect to me. I don't know, but we'll see.
I guess I can't argue. I don't think he could be any worse than Zeke.
No, I don't think he can get any worse than. I mean,
I'm not
he's
saying
definitely going to be
he's
second
horrible,
fiddle to Rico, but
Yeah.
I don't.
Rico's been balling.
Yeah, I don't
He's
understand how
good.
Zeke's getting reps at this point. AJ Brown.
Another injury.
What is wrong with AJ Brown?
Knee sprain.
Problem is, you traded for him in the dynasty. From me. Every time you've done that, the person gets hurt.
Yeah, You got Devontae, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
No, I got AJ Brown.
You got both.
Yeah, you got.
No, I don't have Devonta Smith in that.
No, not Devon,
Adams.
not Smith.
Oh,
Adams.
Devonta Adams. Yeah, but the Adams one was.
Let's
Ba-da-da-da.
face.
No.
Yes, yeah. I was
Just
saying
wait.
that
Yeah.
Well,
wasn't
didn't he just
necessarily-
like? Didn't he? Oh no,
Yeah,
he
he
never
got a
mind,
concussion.
Yeah.
But he got a concussion, cleared protocol, and came back in 4 plays later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he definitely was concussed. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, AJ Brown's something to monitor because it's a knee injury. So I don't know. This is kind of the same thing that kept him out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks actually. But technically, the third week is because of the bye. So I don't know. We'll see.
Unbelievable the amount of wide receiver injuries that are popping up this season. Devastating. We are moving on to the Sunday night football game. Finally, it looks like it'll be a high-powered, high-scoring, high-powered game. I think it will. And I am going to take
Lions.
the Lions. I thought about it.
This ain't hard. The Lions are gonna
Listen,
smoke.
Yeah, I
They
think
are
They
beating
are
any
awesome
team in the NFL right now.
I think the Lions
best
are
team
going to
in
beat
the
them. The problem is CJ Stroud just doesn't have enough people to throw to right now. He just ain't got the people.
Nico can come back, and they kept saying he was on track weeks ago to come back. Now, granted, there hasn't been a lot of updates since then, but they kept saying that the plan was week 10. So that you want him to come back. So
Poor Joe Mixon is balling in Houston and can't catch a break over there, which is kind of what he did at Cincinnati. But
yeah,
we'll see.
And you'll have, not that it matters a whole lot, but it does matter some. I mean, he's been flex worthy, but Jameson Williams will come back. He served his 2-game suspension.
I would like to see one out of him before I play him again.
I don't like playing him.
I don't like playing him, but
unless you're desperate.
It's one of those.
He's
like,
a Juwan Jennings.
You're not playing him unless you absolutely have to.
Well, when all of your freaking team is hurt, those are the types of people you got to play, Nick. All right?
Yeah, that's true.
I was waiting on Juwan Jennings to play 1 week, and then he got hurt. That's the level I was at.
It's because you draft bad.
Excuse me. I drafted fine in that league. Not great, but fine. Wasn't horrible.
Okay.
Once CMC comes back and I start running the table with y'all, we'll see what happens.
You better hurry up because you're about to miss the playoffs.
I know. I got to get some wins together.
Let's do or die, yeah.
All right, but yeah, we all take the Lions. Moving on to Dolphins at Rams.
Give me the Dolphins.
I'm taking the Rams.
Shocker.
Dude, I'm kind of torn.
I know who Chris is going to take. Ready? I'm going to put it.
I don't know. Because, the Rams have looked good, but the Dolphins barely lost to the Bills. I'm going to say the Dolphins. I think they're going to let Tua cook this week.
Here we go. Chris is glazing.
I think that the Dolphins...
Like always.
I think that Tyreek Hill and Waddle still are not giving you your output that you want. Devon A-Chain will go off still. Tua was probably a good start.
I'm calling the Tyreek game this week, though.
Cooper
I
Kupp
think this is the one.
is absorbing. Thank you, Pookie, for punching someone in the head. I appreciate that.
Did you see that punch?
And then he looked so confused after they ejected him. He was like, and it's like, dude.
The punch was like, they showed it in slow motion, but even if it was in real time, it was like that. It just was not a full punch. I don't know.
I will say I don't think he should have been ejected for a punch. I think that's a little weak. Maybe towards disqualification penalty. Second of all, when are these people going to stop punching helmets?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Is there something wrong with is that the CTE?
It's 2020. It's 2024, and guys are punching helmets and dropping the ball on the 1 yard line before they score touchdowns still, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, I don't. Just hold it. Just hold on to the ball.
I don't get it.
Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so everybody at the Rams is fine. The Dolphins, they're all fine. Surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing. Those are people you're gonna play. I still think the the obvious players, you're going to play Kyron Williams, you're going to play Puka, you're going to play Cooper Kupp. On the flip side, you're going to play Devon A-Chan. You're going to play, I guess you don't have to play Tyreek, but
we do have a live
update
from the game.
17-17, fourth quarter. Chiefs are in the red zone, and DeAndre Hopkins is going crazy.
Yeah.
He's leading the Chiefs in points right now.
Well,
but
Patrick
let's
Mahomes,
take a moment.
Patrick Mahomes threw him a 45-yard blind 3-man in his face triple coverage ball, and somehow DeAndre Hopkins came down with it, so that helps.
It's extra finger bones,
Yeah.
dude. Gets a little bit of extra length.
Dude, Travis Kelce's back. And I traded for him.
Yeah, he's been good.
Let's go.
Yeah.
My team is about to roll this league.
There's a lot of dink and dunks going on if you're actually watching him, which is what Travis Kelce gets all his points off of.
I'd like it.
Yeah, but it's Xavier Worthy, 2 horrible sideline balls. He should have been caught in bounds, and he just couldn't stay in bounds. So it's bad. But it looks like the Chiefs are going to get some points here, but we'll keep you updated as we go on. That wraps up the matchups for the week. We will now move on to our favorite segment, which is Nick's Picks. Nick, take it away.
Okay. These are all people owned in less than 50% of leagues. So if you hear somebody,
Wee woo. Patrick Mahomes threw another touchdown pass to DeAndre Hopkins.
oh baby, that's scary.
Listen, people, I'm going to put up 200 points in Sleeper. Let's do a point check. Sorry, Nick, this is important. I haven't put up 200.
All right.
I haven't put up 200 points in a while. Oh my love, 193.92.
Ooh, close.
Close. Wait, no,
No, but you're gonna get over it. It hasn't counted.
it hasn't counted yet. Yeah, time to play the game. All right, come on, update Sleeper. Man, Sleeper is so slow compared to ESPN.
It is weird. I'll get the notification that they scored, but then the translation of the points going to my team takes 5 minutes.
When I was at the Bengals game, we were 2 drives past, and then it said Joe Burrow threw for a touchdown. And I was like, wow, there is a real big delay. There it is. 26 points for DeAndre Hopkins. What is my new total, Sleeper? What?
You're at 202.
It's still not updating. I don't know.
Guess you picked up DeAndre Hopkins in Daniel's league.
1.4.
I tried to. I couldn't get him. Wait, is
Just elevating my
it
squad
just took the
more.
points off. It just took the points off my Sleeper from his. Are they reviewing this touchdown?
No, they already kicked a field goal. It's probably just
and they
the
put
app
it back.
updating or something.
Yep, there it is. 201.42. We have cracked the 200 code. I did it. Okay, proceed.
Okay, back to it. These are people owned in less than 50% of leagues, so don't get confused. Starting off QBs, Matthew Stafford, easiest pickup. With Cup and Puka back, he's viable.
All
He's had
reliable.
32 points. Huh?
Old reliable.
Yep. 32 points, 21 points those are his last 2 weeks. You're confident in him. You're playing him probably, unless you've got a top, 8 guy. Next up, Justin Herbert. He looks like he might be back. 26 points, 18 points those are his last 2 weeks. He plays Tennessee. He has a juicy schedule coming up. He plays Cincinnati and he plays Baltimore, who are both giving up a lot of points to quarterbacks.
Cincinnati flexed to Sunday Night Football game, which is crazy. Yep. 2 weeks ago, we were too bad to play at 425, and now we're getting flexed to an 820 game. So,
yeah.
What are you doing, NFL?
The running backs are yucky this week. Justice Hill. Literally, you're just picking him up because you want the receiving work, and you're hoping that Baltimore scores 100,000 points a game. Emmanuel Wilson, he's a good, strong backup. He's getting some red zone work. He's touchdown dependent, and he had one last week. Those
I
are
think
your
Josh
two.
Jacobs was kind of battling something though. So
Yeah, if Josh Jacobs is still hurt, Emmanuel Wilson's a decent pickup, but those two are yucky pickups.
Yeah.
Moving on to wide receivers. I told y'all to pick this guy up. Cedric Tillman. You didn't believe me.
I thought this had 32 targets this week, and I about pooped my
No.
pants. I was like, what?
In the last 3 weeks, he's had 32 targets and 3 touchdowns. That is crazy. That is like you're starting him everywhere. He's gonna continue. That's gonna just continue because Jameis Winston. That's what he's known for.
He hugs it, dude.
Yup. Next off, Quentin Johnston. He's coming off a 118-yard game and a touchdown. He's been hurt for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
So I think Herbert might have found a little bit of that special sauce he had with Keenan Allen. So that's what you're hoping for. Quentin Johnston, he's available probably in a lot of your leagues. He's probably like a deep pickup.
Deep twice, 2 teams.
I couldn't think of the word. He's not gonna be like your starter probably right away.
Oh.
Moving on to tight end, the man, the myth, the legend, the gritty god, Mike Mother effing Gesicki.
Dang.
He's had 14 targets in the last 2 games. If T. Higgins gets traded, Mike Gesicki is literally like probably the number 2 option right now.
He is.
He had a 2-touchdown game last week. We all watched it. Obviously, the Bengals
hot.
is not the problem right now.
And he's good at
Mainly,
football.
yeah, mainly, the Bengals offense is looking decent, a lot better than the defense. So if they're high powered, you just hopefully Joe throws them the ball. Jonnu Smith, the most annoying player on the Dolphins right now. Every time I check the app, it's always Tua thrown to Jonnu. Tua throws to Jonnu. He has so many targets. I looked in the last 4 weeks, he's got like 8-6 targets, which is like that's crazy for a tight end. So he's a solid pickup if you need to flex a tight end or if you're just down bad at tight end position. Because I mean the Dolphins are kind of struggling right now. They can't seem to win a game, so like they're probably just gonna keep throwing the ball. Although it's risky because Jonnu is like the 4th option. He should be the 4th option behind A-Chain, Waddle, Tyreek. Like, I don't know.
Odell.
Yeah, but for some reason, Tua loves Jonnu. Maybe it's because, Tua sees him as a big Santa Claus, just big body. So, Jonnu Smith is your last pickup for tight end. That is it for my segment.
Oh, good
today.
job. And that is Nick's Picks, where he gives you his best waiver options owned in 50% of leagues or less. Little update. Looks like it was 3rd and 16 after a sack on 2nd and 8. Baker Mayfield, incomplete pass. It's 4th and 16. I don't have the game up. I've got the app up, so they could be going for it. They could be kicking it away. There's 3 minutes left in the game, so I wouldn't trust their defense because... But what are you going to do?
Well, problem is it's a lose-lose. You punt, you get the ball to Patrick Mahomes, who's known for extending
Putting the
plays
dagger
and drives,
in.
and putting the dagger. But you're 4th and 16 on your own 24. So if you don't get a 4th and 16, you definitely
Not
lose.
a lot of plays in the book for that. For that one.
You probably have to punt.
Yeah, but we'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, we'll update you about the final score of that game next week, but that will draw our show to an end for this week. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Please check us out on YouTube Shorts, YouTube normal videos. Watch the actual videos. We like people to watch. You can rewatch this.
That's right.
It goes on here. You can watch it put it on at work. Listen to us during the day. Give you some entertainment. TikTok, I already said that. Instagram, Spotify. I think that covers it all. But we try to upload pretty consistently. Try to keep you updated. Try to give you our best takes. Nick has been killing it with the waiver ads, and we've been killing it with the if this guy gets traded, pick up this guy, play this guy. So for just a couple of Joes, we're not doing so bad. But thank you for joining us. We will be back here next Monday at 10 o'clock. Good night.